You are now tuned into Digital Dive with Homes for Heroes.
Launching paid media. Activating Facebook advertising. Engaging retargeting campaigns.
Hey everyone, I'm Seth Jessica, the Emerging Media Manager at Homes for Heroes. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Digital Dive with Homes for Heroes, where on today's episode, we're going to help you set up your consideration-focused campaigns to retarget audiences on Facebook to continue to fill your pipeline with leads. So if this is your first time tuning in to Digital Dive with Homes for Heroes, we have put together a series of videos that are dedicated to helping you get the most out of your Facebook advertising dollars. And this series of videos has gone over everything from setting up your Facebook business page to setting up your Facebook business manager. And I have eventually introduced you to this Facebook advertising strategy that I would recommend anybody who's just getting started on Facebook advertising use. And this Facebook advertising strategy is really a multi-layer funnel approach, right? So you have at the top of the funnel, you have your campaigns running at the top of the funnel, you have your campaigns running in the middle of the funnel, and you have your campaigns running at the bottom of the funnel. At the bottom of the funnel is the consideration focused campaigns, which I'm going to help you set up today. So if this is your first time tuning into Digital Dive with Homes for Heroes, I'm going to put a link to the very first video in this series of Facebook advertising tutorials. I'm going to put a link to that right here so you can go check that out. Maybe get caught up a little bit, come back here, and this video might make a little bit more sense to you. Hopefully it'll make a lot more sense to you. But for those of you who are sticking with me, I want to go over two things real quick before we dive into today's video tutorial. So the first thing that I want to talk about is budget. Now, as I've discussed before in previous videos, I take my monthly Facebook advertising budget and I cut it in half. I allocate half to the front half of the month and I allocate the other half to the back half of the month. And then I break those budgets down even further. So now that we're running 3 separate campaigns side by side, we have our awareness campaigns at the top, we have our consideration campaigns in the middle, and our conversion campaigns at the bottom. We need to distribute those budgets among those 3 campaigns. So generally what I recommend if you're just getting started with Facebook advertising is allocating 60% to the campaigns at the top of the funnel, 30% to the campaigns in the middle of the funnel, and 10% to the campaigns at the bottom of the funnel. Now, as your audiences grow in the middle and the bottom of the funnel, you can start to redistribute those dollars at the top of the funnel down towards the bottom of the funnel, because ultimately we want to invest more money into the consideration campaigns and the conversion campaigns that are going to drive more leads for our business. But to get started, although it's not a hard rule, it's just something that you can generally go by in terms of the allocation, is 60, 30, 10. Now, that being said, I want to make sure that I make this aware to you that we're going to go through the process of setting up your Facebook ad campaign today, and you may identify that your audience isn't large enough for Facebook to retarget that audience on through your ad campaigns. And if we identify that today as we go through the process of setting up your ad campaign, that's perfectly okay. Don't stress out about it. That just means that we haven't driven enough interest and consideration for your business yet. We need to drive more traffic to the landing page on your website if you're using your website to advertise your business, or we need to drive more traffic to that lead form if you're using lead generation campaigns on Facebook. That's all that means. So if we identify that your audience isn't large enough to retarget on Facebook today, we just might need to reallocate some of those dollars that we would invest in your consideration campaigns back towards the top, drive more interest, and drive more consideration for your business. So I hope that makes sense. If you guys have any questions about this, feel free to direct message me on social media or leave your comments below this video. I'm more than happy to answer and address those questions and concerns. I know that can be a little bit abstract and it can be a little bit hard to calculate, especially if you're just getting started with Facebook advertising. Just know that I'm here to help and support you if you do have those questions and concerns. So now let's talk about the ads that I'm going to be using in my campaigns today. So I am going to be using a video ad as well as an image ad. Again, I use a video ad always because I see that they tend to perform better, so I like my video ads, but I also complement it with an image ad because I want to make sure that that Facebook can still serve my ad even in areas where internet service is limited. So the reason I chose the ads that I chose today, again, I always go through that process. Who am I targeting? And what do I want them to know, right? If I had my audience standing 5 feet in front of me and I had 5 seconds to say one thing to them, what would I want them to know? And what we're doing today in our ad campaigns is we're targeting people who have already expressed interest in our business and they have already shown consideration in using our products or services, right? So I know that they're already more than just familiar with my business. Really, I'm trying to get them to take that final step and actually become a lead for my business. And there's really no stronger content than social proof. And my favorite type of social proof is testimonials. I love testimonials. I would highly recommend testimonials if you can use them in your consideration campaigns at the bottom of the funnel. We at Homes for Heroes are truly blessed and grateful to the heroes who have shared their testimonials with us. We actually had some great videos shared with us by our heroes who used our program, and that is the content that I'm going to be using in today's ad. So I had heroes send us in videos. They shared their experience buying their home through Homes for Heroes, and I'm able to share that in a video format. And what I did to create an image version of it is I just took snapshots of each video and then I used text overlay to depict that testimonial that they provided. So again, testimonials are very strong. Actually, Nielsen, a research company, did a survey and they found that 92% of people they will value the recommendations by their peers, and then 70% of people will value the recommendations of people they don't even know. So again, if you can use testimonials in your advertising, it is very effective and I would highly recommend it. If you're a Homes for Heroes real estate or mortgage specialist, these advertisements are available to you. So you don't need to recreate the wheel. I mean, certainly you can go out there and find testimonials and get your own testimonials if you like, but if you just need something to get going, these ads are available to you in your affiliate toolbox. If you're not affiliated with Homes for Heroes, you can certainly source testimonials by reaching out to your own clients, ask them to submit photos, videos, written testimonials. Any way that you can source testimonials for your Facebook ads, I would highly recommend it. So that's why I chose the creative that I chose. The messaging. So at the top, the primary text, again, social proof. I wanted to show our audience the success behind Homes for Heroes. We've been doing this for 20 years, we've been doing this for 20 years since just after 9/11, and the proof is in the success. The proof of the success in our program is really in the numbers. We've been blessed enough to serve over 35,000 heroes and help them save nearly $60 million on a home. So these are strong social proof numbers. Anybody that sees those numbers knows that Homes for Heroes is well established, and we have really gone through lengths to serve and support our hero community, and I want them to know that. So that's why I chose the primary text. Now the headline and the description, again, you just want to reinforce the creative that you're using, the videos and the images that you're using in your ad, as well as a primary text. So I did that with the text in the headline and the description. And then what is the text that's going to really get them to click on that call to action, whether you use the learn more call to action or the sign up call to action, whatever call to action you use the text that's going to really want them to take that next step and go to the lead form on your lead generation campaign or go to the sign up page on your website, fill out that information. So that's the thought process that I put into creating this Facebook ad for this campaign. The format of it. So real quick to go over the format, again, the dimensions that I use for both the video and the image are 1080 pixels by 1080 pixels. And I just do that because I want to take up as much real estate on somebody's timeline catch their attention. I hope my ad will jump out, catch their attention. And the more real estate I can take advantage of, I'm going to. So I always use 1080 pixels by 1080 pixels. And then also make sure that your ad is, or your video is 15 seconds or less. Again, that just helps Facebook be able to show your ad throughout its network of ad placements. So that's the formatting of the ad. So now that we've gone over budget, now that we've gone over the ad, I think that covers everything. We can start creating your Facebook custom audience so we can start retargeting these people, driving more leads and filling your pipeline. So let's start doing that. So as we always do, let's get started by setting up our audience that we're going to use to target with our Facebook conversion or lead generation campaigns. So we're going to want to do that from our Facebook Audience Manager. And again, you're just going to want to go to the sandwich tab, click on the sandwich tab and select audiences. Then you're going to want to click on Create Audience and select Custom Audience from the dropdown. Now we're going to go through the process of setting up a custom audience for people who are using their website to drive conversions. And then we're going to go through the process of setting up a custom audience for people who are using lead generation campaigns using lead forms on Facebook to drive conversions. So let's start off with people who are using their website. So you're just going to want to select website from under use sources. And you're going to be presented with this very first option. Include people who meet any or all of the following criteria. You're going to want to select all from this dropdown. And then you're going to want to make sure that the correct Facebook pixel for your business shows up here. And then from this dropdown, you're going to want to change this from all website visitors to people who visited specific web pages. Now you can choose to have this be a 30-day window. You can change it to 60 days or 90 days. Again, I recommend that you have this at 30 days if you can create an audience large enough from this 30-day window. Next, you're going to want to change this from URL contains to URL equals. And then you're going to want to enter in the URL for the landing page that you direct your ad traffic to, the landing page where you collect signups through a signup form. And just enter in that URL here. Now, there is going to be a portion of this audience that actually went through the sign-up process, and we only want to target the people who have actually visited this page and not gone through the sign-up process. So in order to exclude the people who have actually gone through the sign-up process, we're going to want to go down here and click Exclude. And now we're going to want to change this from all website visitors to people who visited specific web pages. And you can leave this window, this 30-day window or 60-day window, as the same as it is up here. Now again, change this from URL contains to URL equals. And now you're going to want to enter in the URL for the landing page that people land on when they complete the sign-up process on your website. Just enter in that URL here. And now what you're doing with this audience is you are targeting people who visited this sign-up form on your website but did not go through the sign-up process. And once you have set that up, the only thing left to do is to name your audience, and this will help you identify your audience when you're setting up your Facebook ad campaign. So just enter in the name of that audience here, and for mine I just named it Hero Signup Page Views excluding signup. So again, this just helps me identify people who viewed the Hero Signup page, and I'm excluding people who have signed up. So once you have done that and completed that process, you can select Create Audience, but I'm actually going to select Back, and I'm going to go through the process of setting up this custom audience for people who are using lead generation campaigns using Facebook lead forms. So if you're using lead generation campaigns to drive conversions, you're just going to want to select lead form. And again, you're going to be presented with this option, include people who meet any or all, and you're going to want to select all of the following criteria. Now, you're going to want to change this from anyone who opened this form to people who opened but did not submit form. So what this allows you to do is target people who actually went through the process of opening up your lead form, but you are excluding the people who actually went through the sign-up process. Now, I recommend changing this from 90 days to 30 days. Again, this is entirely up to you. If you can target an audience large enough from that 30-day window, that is what I would recommend. Now, make sure that your Facebook business page shows up here. And then you're going to want to select the lead form that you're using on Facebook to capture these leads. And I would just select that from the drop down. And now you're targeting the people who opened this lead form but did not go through the process of signing up on that lead form. And you don't need to exclude people or further narrow it down because you've already gone through that process up here. So the next thing that you're going to want to do, and the last thing that you're going to want to do, is name this audience. And I have created an audience name for this, and it is Hero Lead Form Views excluding signups. And again, this is just helping me identify people who actually viewed a lead form, but I am excluding the people who actually gone through the sign up process. And this just helps me identify the audience when I'm actually setting up the Facebook ad campaign. So once you have done that, you can select Create Audience, and the next thing that we will do is set up your Facebook ad campaign. All right, so to get started creating your Facebook ad campaign, you're just going to want to go to your Facebook Ads Manager and click on this plus Create green button. And that will take us to the campaign portion of our Facebook ad campaign. Now make sure that you select the special ad category and select housing from the drop down. If you do not see this special ad category option, just go down here and make sure that you select the appropriate marketing objective for your Facebook ad campaign, and this special ad category should now appear. If you are going to be setting up a lead generation campaign, you can select that option here. For my ad campaign, I'm going to be running a conversion ad campaign. So I'll select conversions. And now I'm just going to want to name my Facebook ad campaign. And as I always like to do, I always like to include the audience that I'm going to be targeting in the campaign name, as well as the dates that I'm going to be running my campaign, as well as the portion of the funnel that this Facebook ad campaign is intended to target. Now you can leave the Create A/B Test option toggled off unless you are very familiar with A/B testing and you want to run an A/B test. Otherwise, I would recommend leaving this toggled off. The campaign budget optimization, of course, we want to keep this toggled on, as I've always tried to encourage. This is one of the most powerful features to Facebook advertising. Leaving this option toggled on will really allow Facebook to optimize and improve the performance of your Facebook ad campaign. Next, you're going to want to change this from daily budget to lifetime budget, since we are running this for 2 weeks, and lifetime budgets are really my preferred method since it allows Facebook to better optimize our ad campaigns. Next, you want to change this to the dollar amount that you've allocated to this specific Facebook ad campaign. And then you can leave the campaign bid strategy to the lowest cost. Now you can choose to run your ads on a schedule or run them all the time. It's your preference. I prefer to run my ads on a schedule. Either way, Facebook will optimize your Facebook ad campaign based on the days and times that it is performing the best. Next, you can click Continue. Now you can change your ad set name to the same name that you have used for your campaign. If you are setting up a lead generation campaign, you will not see this option. But if you are running a conversion ad campaign, you will see the options for your destination as website, app, messenger, or WhatsApp. And since we are running a conversion ad for our website, make sure that you have website set as a destination. And then for optimization for ad delivery, this should be set to conversions. If you are running a lead generation campaign, your lead generation campaign should be set for leads, and it should be the default setting. You should not need to have to adjust that. For your Facebook pixel, you're going to want to make sure that you have the event showing here that fires your Facebook pixel whenever somebody completes the sign up process on your website. So just make sure that event shows right here. Next, we can move on to audience. Now, to set up your audience, you're going to want to select the audience that we just finished creating in your audience manager. Just go here and click on custom audience and select the custom audience that we just finished setting up. Then we can move on to locations, and you want to change this from people living in or recently in this location. You want to change that to people living in this location. Next, you're going to want to add in the city or address that you're going to be using. And just remember, regardless whether you use city or address, that's going to need to include a 15-mile radius. So once you've finished setting up the location, you want to take note of this gauge up here. You want to see if this gauge is too specific, too broad, or just right. This tells you how large of an audience you have. So while setting up your conversion focus campaigns at the bottom of the funnel, if you identify that these audience sizes are too small, there's not one single tactic that I would recommend you take, because the tactic that you take is going to need to be dependent on the size of your advertising budget. But there are a couple tactics that I would recommend that you consider. And the first one would be to reallocate some of those advertising dollars back towards the campaigns in the middle of the funnel, which would be the traffic campaigns or the initial lead generation campaign, just depending on which types of campaigns you're using. Now, what that does is reallocating those dollars back to those campaigns in the middle of the funnel. That will ultimately drive more traffic to those landing pages, and we need more traffic to those landing pages to increase those audience sizes to retarget with your conversion focus campaigns. The other tactic that you could consider, and this is for advertisers who are likely to have a limited advertising budget, you might just want to get rid of the video views campaigns altogether. Now, I am a big fan of video views campaign because I think that they are a great brand awareness play and they are a great advertising tactic. However, if ultimately you're not able to drive enough traffic to those landing pages, ultimately your business and your advertising efforts are not going to benefit, because you don't have enough people going to those landing pages to create an audience to retarget with these conversion campaigns. So if you eliminate that video views campaign and just reallocate those dollars back into the middle of the funnel, that's ultimately going to help you drive more traffic to those landing pages and increase those audience sizes that you need to retarget with your conversion focused campaign. So just consider those two options. If you have any questions or concerns about this, feel free to leave your comments and questions in the section below this video. I'd be more than happy to help you out with that. So now we can go down to languages, and if you want to include a language to target, you can certainly do that. And then we can go down to skip past detailed targeting. There's no reason to include any interest-based targeting because we are already targeting a very specific audience. We're retargeting people who have already shown interest or consideration in our business. So you can skip past detailed targeting. For connections, you can certainly add a connection of people who like your page. That's up to you. I'm really focused on targeting the people who have expressed strong consideration in my business. Next, placements. You can leave placements set to automatic placements. Again, because we have decided to use the campaign budget optimization tool right here, Facebook will show our ads in the places where it is performing the best based on its learnings. Next, we can go to the schedule, and since I am running this in the second half of May, I'm going to change this to May 16th at 12 a.m. through May 31st at 11:59 p.m. And now we can move on to the days and times that we want our ads to run, and I prefer to run my ads Monday through Sunday, 6 a.m. to midnight. So once you've set up your schedule and your placements and your audience targeting, we can move on to the placement of our ads. Click on continue, And now we can name our ad the same as we did with our ad set and our campaign. The only difference is because we will be placing both a video ad and an image ad, we want to differentiate those by adding a video after this one, and then when we place our image ad, we'll change that to image. Next, we want to make sure that our appropriate Facebook page is set to our business and our Instagram account is set to our business for under identity. And then we can go through the process of setting up our ad. So what I'm going to do for this specific ad is I'm going to use a carousel ad. And what a carousel ad is, it's multiple images or videos that you can use in your ad. And you can do that with images or videos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the process of adding each one of these videos, and then I'll come back and add the headlines and the description. So bear with me while I quickly add these videos. So now that I have each one of these videos added to my ad, I'm going to need to add a headline and a description and a website URL to each one of these videos. So I'm going to quickly do that, and then we will come back and finish setting up the rest of the ad. All right, so I've finished adding all the videos, all the headlines, all the descriptions, and a website URL for each one of these videos. So if you want to scroll through, you can see this is what the ad looks like. And you can see that it has this card, this branded card at the end. Now you can choose whether you want to include this card or not. That is completely up to you. You would just go down here and you would toggle this option off if you didn't want to include that card. Now if you want to include that card, toggle that on. And then what I would suggest is that you add a see more URL directing them to the sign up page using the URL that you used up here. Now we want to make sure that we also add the primary text to our ad. So let me just add that real quick. And now you can see our ad is complete. We have the primary text, we have the carousel videos, and we have the headlines as well as the descriptions. Now the last thing that you're going to want to do is make sure that you change the display URL. Again, if you are including a URL that has a very long, if it's a very long URL, for example, homesforheroes.com/hero rewards/hero signup, that's a very long URL. And what I would recommend that you do for your see more display link is just take the root of the URL and put that here, which is homesforheroes.com. Now the call to action. You can change this to sign up if you prefer, or you can leave it to learn more. That preference is up to you. And then make sure that your Facebook pixel is turned on and the appropriate Facebook pixel is showing up right here. Now, if you're setting up a lead generation campaign, the only thing that's left for you to do is select the appropriate lead form for your Facebook ad campaign. Now, I use the same lead form across all campaigns, and I would certainly suggest that you do the same unless there is some reason that you need to differentiate lead forms between campaigns. I see no other reason why you would need to use multiple lead forms. So just select the appropriate lead form, and then you can go down to confirm and click on confirm and place your ad campaign. So once you have finished setting up your Facebook ad campaign, you're just going to want to go back to the dashboard on your Facebook Ads Manager and go under campaigns and find the Facebook ad campaign that you just finished setting up and click on the box right to the left of it, and then go to Ads for One Campaign tab right here in the upper right hand corner. Click on that, and that will isolate your ad that you just set up in your Facebook ad campaign. Now you can see that I have two here because I already went through the process of setting one up. But what yours will probably look like is it will only have one ad, and it'll have that video ad. Now, what you're going to want to do is what I have already done is duplicate this ad and create an image ad to complement this video ad. And as I've discussed before, the purpose of this image ad is to ensure that your ad is still shown in areas where there's limited internet service. So to create this image ad, all that you would need to do is hover over this name of this bottom of the funnel video ad and click on duplicate. And make sure this original campaign option is selected, and then click duplicate. And now what you'll want to do is erase this video and copy at the end of the name and change that to image. And this will help you differentiate the ads from one another. One will be the image ad and one will be the video ad. Now the only thing left to do is to go down and swap out each one of these videos for an image. Now, unfortunately, if you are using a carousel ad, you will have to remove each one of these videos and then go through the process of adding an image and then updating it with the headline, description, and website URL. So that would be the process that you would need to go through, is just swap out these videos for the images to create a complementary image ad to your video ad. And once you have gone through that process, you shouldn't need to change anything else. And you can just go down here and click on publish, and now your conversion ad or your lead generation ad is all set up. So there you are, guys. You have just placed your third Facebook ad campaign. You guys are becoming professionals at this. You guys, I'm actually the one that's slowing you guys down now. You guys are the ones that are outpacing me. So congratulations. Make sure you tune in to next week's episode. And you're probably thinking, what, there's more? Yes, we're not done. Because even though you're running 3 ad campaigns and you're becoming professionals at this, I'm going to show you guys how you can optimize your Facebook ads. Now you're probably wondering, what do you mean? We're using the budget campaign optimization tool. Facebook's doing it for us. Yes, that's true, and continue to use that. Always use that. But there are ways that we can help Facebook optimize our ads, and I'm going to show you guys how you can start doing that on next week's episode. So you're going to want to make sure that you tune into next week's episode of Digital Dive with Homes for Your Heroes. So I hope you guys have found this video helpful. If you did, make sure that you give it a like and make sure that you subscribe to the Homes for Heroes YouTube channel and hit that notification bell. That way you'll get notified every time we publish a new episode of Digital Dive with Homes for Heroes, Real Talk with Homes for Heroes, or 2-Minute Tip Tuesday, which is with Homes for Heroes, but that's not in the title. It's just 2-Minute Tip Tuesday. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you guys again real soon.